Hello there. Breaking news for you from Ethiopia, where Amhara Fano fighters have captured a town. This time I'm using the word capture, not enter. I last night broke the news about Fano's entry in shore orbit. This morning I told you about Fano's entry in Debre Marcos. But this town has been captured by Fano fighters. Clearance operation is ongoing these minutes in this town. It means Fano is in control. Fano, it's not that Fano is just, it has entered the town. No, it is now consolidating its control. We can say Fano has captured the town. Clearance operation is underway. Before this news story, congratulations to Gojjam Sege, amazing Ethiopian athlete. She has smashed world record for 5,000 meter women race at an event held in Oregon. Gojjam is from Tigray. Tigrayans are celebrating. But when these athletes perform at international level, people see them as Ethiopians. No one cares about their ethnicity. For people, they are top class champions of Ethiopia. Gojjam is an amazing athlete. Why? Because if you remember a few weeks ago at World Athletics Championship, she won gold medal. And there, she and Sifan were running neck and neck. And Sifan, the Ethiopian Oromo athlete who is now representing Netherlands, I think, she elbowed Gojjam, maybe unintentionally. Gojjam kept on running. She did not respond. Sifan collapsed on the ground and Gojjam finished first. She's a true champion, true athlete. Warm congratulations to Gojjam Sege. Now, very important news story about Fano's entry in another town. I have been saying since yesterday that there is a clear flare-up in fighting. And what we saw on New Ethiopian Year was deliberate restraint shown by Fano fighters, because I talked to them back then, Sajid. I talked to a few people close to them. They said, Sajid, don't break this news. We don't want to spoil New Year celebrations. So you'll see less fighting on New Ethiopian Year. Roads will be open too, but you'll see what happens after the celebrations end. And that is what we're seeing on the ground. Yes, intensity of fighting declined, considerably declined on New Ethiopian Year. And things changed after that. Now, we're seeing a new Fano. People are saying Fano down and out. People, those who support Fano, are just exaggerating Fano's capabilities. But they're back in shore orbit. Now, military trying to clear shore orbit. I'll try to do a video about shore orbit and Debre Marcos too. But this video is about another town, Emmanuel. Where is Emmanuel town? What is the strategic significance of the town? Firstly, Fano fighters have made it to the town. They have entered Emmanuel. It's not that just a few Fano fighters have entered Emmanuel. No. Emmanuel is under Fano control. Clearance operation ongoing. I have been able to confirm. Firstly, where is Emmanuel? Emmanuel is situated along the main road which passes through West Gojjam. Debre Marcos, Emmanuel, and then the road leads towards other cities, towns, towards Bahidar. Main road which passes through West Gojjam passes through Emmanuel. The other road, main road through Gojjam, is through East Gojjam. Emmanuel is very strategic. Why? If a party, if a group is in control of Emmanuel, it can push towards Debre Marcos. Distance between Emmanuel and Debre Marcos would be around 15 kilometers, I think. Since Fano fighters are in full control of Emmanuel, it means they'll definitely push towards Debre Marcos from Emmanuel now. This morning, I did a detailed video on intense fighting ongoing in Debre Marcos, East Gojjam. And I told you about fighting in the very heart, the center of Debre Marcos city. Close quarter combat, urban warfare in Debre Marcos, confirmed. Though pro-Fano elements claim that Fano is in full control of Debre Marcos, but I have no such verified information. I have been able to verify to the extent of intensity of fighting in Debre Marcos. And now I have been able to confirm Fano's control of Emmanuel town. What I can predict is that if Fano remains in control of Emmanuel, it will push towards Debre Marcos from Emmanuel. It can rapidly push towards Debre Marcos. Can we say Debre Marcos is going to fall to Fano fighters because Emmanuel has come under Fano control? It's difficult to say because military can afford to lose Emmanuel. It cannot afford to lose Debre Marcos. If military totally loses Debre Marcos, it means that military has lost Gojjam. Military has lost the biggest and the most important strategic place in Gojjam. So military will try to defend Debre Marcos. And it is difficult for Fano to capture entire Debre Marcos. Why? Because military is in Debre Marcos for several days, and high places, strategic places are under military control. Fano fighters have made it back into Debre Marcos, but clearance is difficult. Clearance is easy in Emmanuel. That is why Fano fighters sweeping across Emmanuel. Clearance is difficult for Fano fighters in Debre Marcos. Military will fight inside Debre Marcos, and that is what is happening in Debre Marcos. Interestingly, when all this is happening, when we're seeing escalation in armed hostilities in the Amhara region, Ethiopian state media is nowhere to be seen. Ethiopian military chief Fano Jula is nowhere to be seen. Federal government nowhere to be seen. Where are they? Arega Kabbede, who was saying a few days ago that there was just occasional guerrilla fighting in some parts of the Amhara region stable, nowhere to be seen. Fano's entry in Debre Marcos and Fano's entry in Shorabit are two serious blows to Ethiopian government, Amhara government's narrative that things are under their control. Out of 6, 2 cities have been attacked by Fano fighters in the last 24 hours. Remaining 4 could be in trouble too. Remaining 4, I mean Debre Birhan. Already something happening there. Lalibela calm, Gondar calm, Bahirdar calm. So already we are seeing that out of 6 cities taken by military, military's control of 3 is in danger. We can say military has lost control in Shorabit. Fano is back in Shorabit. Military has lost control of Debre Marcos. Military back, Fano back in Debre Marcos. Debre Birhan under military control, but Fano trying to re-enter Debre Birhan. So this is the overall situation, a blow to the narrative being built by the government that nothing is happening in the Amhara region. International diplomats are being briefed that Fano is just a group of a few robbers and bandits who have no support on the ground, and they are anti-peace elements. They should be dealt with iron hands, and they are not going to, they cannot sustain this operation. Their activities are anti-state, etc. This narrative isn't going to sell now. The way Fano is showing its capability of retaking town cities, it should be a clear signal for international community that what is ongoing in the Amhara region is not an internal small regional conflict like we are seeing. We have been seeing conflicts in Gambela, in BG, in Oromia too for years. This a conflict in Amhara is not like what we have seen in Oromia, BG, etc. Amhara region, entire region is under threat. Amhara region is not far away from Addis Ababa. Yes, I always say between Amhara and Addis Ababa there is Oromia. It's going to be an uphill task for Fano fighters to reach Addis Ababa through Oromia. Having said that, Amhara region has it's a big region. What happens in Amhara has national consequence, maybe international consequence as well. Whatever narrative is being built by the government isn't going to sell. You're going to see more attacks by Fano fighters on big cities. That is why we saw statements from US State Department, EU, asking Ethiopian government to work on negotiated solution to the conflict in Amhara and Oromia. No work, no progress. Rather, we're seeing intensified military operation, and Fano very smartly retreats from the places where it comes under pressure. It then returns. So we are seeing this pattern being repeated in the Amhara region. Government adamant to crush Fano. Ethiopian National Defense Force wants to crush Fano. Fano fighters managing to survive and hitting back the military at the right time, it seems. Thank you for watching.